governments are all like they're all on board saying the same thing about the war rhetoric, right?
Mm.
And I believe that, as usual, that could just ramp up and turn into, yeah, right at the last minute, stops and holds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a lag in my card view. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is there.
Looks good on my end.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the stop and hold thing. They've been doing this, for years with the supposed Third World War. Meanwhile, we're in one. Okay, we're in the war. We've been in it for years. Of course, the spiritual, the information war, right? So here's a lot of people are feeling this stress. So try not to let that really get to you. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is that you're safe, but if you don't feel safe, especially if you live in Europe right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the moon card, which is like a deep fake situation. Like I feel like so many things they're saying, like even the whole Ukrainian war, like so much of that was falsified. Like what was really happening there really wasn't what they were telling you. Certainly the mainstream media has done a great job of really covering up for these things that are, so this feels right, because it's like we're dealing with things that are not even close to how they've been presented. So there's this deep fake sort of feeling to everything that's going on and everything you think is going on. So it creates all this stress and fear if you let it, right? So we have to be careful we don't go here. Meanwhile, this is actually what's happening. Safety, or you're in a place of safety. And in fact, a lot of the things playing out, or what appears to be playing out, already happened. Like the Pope's death, okay, that already happened some time ago, right? Meanwhile, we're getting shown. Whoops.
Whoops. Sorry, that was me, Janine. Sorry.
I'm like, oh no. Anyway, meanwhile, we're being shown like all of these stages of his supposed passing. It's all created. It's like a big creation. Here we've got the Two of Swords. So I feel like a lot of what you're going to hear about this weekend doesn't come to pass. Okay. And even by midweek next week, we could be in a whole nother direction, more focused again on the US now, bringing it back to the US again. So it's really just maybe diversions while they get, military ops done, is what I figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting, just realizing, and I should know this already as an astrologer, but literally the day that, well, I did know this, but just realize as we're filming this, that actually the day that we start the conference, Janine, March 14th, you may already know this already, is an eclipse. So we are in eclipse territory right now. We're within the 2 weeks before and after an eclipse season, and this is very intense territory. I'll get to that when we get to the astro slides, but makes sense what you're saying, Janine, that it can kind of change at a dime. Things can change really, really fast. Could we maybe do a pull on, and I'm just seeing this article here, Janine. This was from earlier today. Europe, Ukraine latest. EU leaders back new military spending. Okay, that's not what I wanted to look up. What the heck? Sorry, Janine, just 1 second. Here, Ukraine and US to hold talks next week about ending the war. Could we do a supplemental on that? How is this going to go? Will President Trump and what's his name, Zelensky, actually get together next week to hold a talk to possibly end the war? How is that looking? Oh, you're muted, Janine.
Zelensky's gone back and forth on that, Meg, all week.
Okay.
So ever since last weekend's debacle, which was that big, just absolute crazy match and face-off they had in the Oval Office, okay, and everybody watched the clips. It was like literally insanity playing out. All week, Zelensky's been going back and forth. Oh, he's going to work with Trump. Now he's not going to work with Trump. Oh, he's going to work with Trump now. So this will be interesting to see. Does he actually sit down again with Trump?
Right. Hmm.
He definitely represents the, like, he's part of the dark op. I mean, I
Right.
don't believe that guy was placed. So a little background on Zelensky. A lot of people have like really did some digging into him. He was an actor, even a comedian. And there's all kinds of footage out there. A lot of people think it's fake, but it's real, of him dancing in drag. And, you know, he was on some really popular TV show. Now, here's what's interesting in the Ukraine, but they say the TV show was really mediocre, but for some reason, a group probably connected to the WEF really focused and put a lot of money into promoting that group. Okay. And then plucked him out of it and actually put him in a political party. Okay. So they took him right out of this really interesting career in sort of avant-garde television kind of thing, and then placed him right into politics, which is pretty interesting. And apparently, a lot of people think he's MK altered. But and it would make a lot of sense that that's who you're dealing with here. Certainly with that devil card there. So even if it's the original guy, he's a plant anyway. He's not really a politician. I mean, that's obvious, actually. But even if he's been replaced by the white hats, which I suspect, and I've gotten that in the cards before, I feel like he's at least representing and really showing his true colors here to the rest of the world. He's educating people on who's your enemy. How do these people, like, it's making people go into this guy's background and just discover who is this guy anyway? And how on earth did he get to run a country? Meanwhile, him and his wife are like, got millions and millions of dollars worth of properties all over the world. Like, how did that come to pass? Okay. Like, it's obviously a big money laundering situation going on there. And I feel like a lot of the public is starting to back away from, supporting this stupidity, especially after last weekend's insane situation. Although, of course, the media are making it look like Trump, the bad guy in that situation. Actually, a lot of people chime in that they thought Zelensky was completely out of line. So yeah, it's interesting. But here, so it's looking like we've got this ramping up of the bad guys here, like the deep state dark. It's almost like they've come up in Europe to really be shown for their true colors. Really, what's the agenda there? Okay, but we're really close to the end of where we don't have to see this anymore. In the middle, everybody's actually working together. Here's what's interesting. All of these guys work together. This is what I got a long time ago. Zelensky and Putin or both actors placed, and now white hat or at least read in on what the white hats are up to. And they're actually both 2.0s of each other, of the originals, and working all together as a team to out this stuff. Okay. That's why this guy trots around in that ridiculous outfit, doesn't wear, not that he has to wear a suit, but it's pretty obvious they're being real silly about what this guy wears, what his past looks like. Like, it's all really an interesting movie we're watching with him. Now, see the chariot here. So as the week goes on, we got the chariot. So it could appear like everything's ramped up, and then right at the crescendo, it's like, and I feel like it'll probably be Trump, something swoops in, or some kind of situation swoops in, and all of a sudden this Zelensky guy finally gets on page. By then he's really disappointed everybody, and his true colors are showing, but he finally gets as much as he can get focused on. I feel like they really ease it up by the end of the week next week.
Okay, nice to hear. Thank you for that, Janine. And I'm just seeing this on X to bring up as well. French President Macron addressed all Europeans to prepare for war with Russia. This was broadcast live across the continent. Europe will not accept capitulation of Ukraine to Russia under the guise of peace negotiations. Americans must decide whose side they're on. I mean, it's absolutely wild, Janine. And I know from spending the last 4 or 5 years living in Belgium with my husband Jens, even what I've noticed is even some of the truthers out there, and I don't mean to disrespect any of our truthers because not everybody has this view, but there's a lot of people genuinely petrified of the potential for a war with Russia, what that would look like for Europe. And that can be scary when that fear is being projected, right, from literally everywhere. So nice to hear from the cards that doesn't look like it's going to be going in that way. And there's so much going on at the same time, Janine. We've just had, right before we went live, Trump pausing tariffs on some Canadian goods until April 2nd. So another thing that's flip-flopping. Flip-flop Zelensky, flip-flop tariffs. Have you done a read on this yet, Janine? What is the point of these tariffs? Is it to expose Canada for what it really is, right? Canada, the illusion. Is this something you've done any kind of read on recently around the tariffs?
Well, I don't think I've directly really looked into it, specifically saying what the heck are the tariffs really about. So let's do that. Let's ask, what are the tariffs about?
Yeah.
Because I believe the White Hat Alliance are doing this. So let's ask, what do they got up their sleeve with the tariffs? So they've got Trump 2.0, because none of these Trumps we've been seeing lately are the real Trump, by the way.
Right.
He's probably safely tucked away. I'm sure his family's always in imminent danger, because I really feel like even Melania lately, like always wearing the dark glasses and hats and stuff, like that isn't really Melania. I don't care what anyone says. That's somebody wearing a mask. Like they really have these guys, I believe, hidden away the real people, because it's too dangerous out there, right? Yeah. They're taking down the deep state. They can't be trotting around. Okay, so we got all actors out there acting on this crazy political stage. Let's have a look at what is the plan, White Hat Alliance plan, towards and or with all the tariffs, like what you said. Mm-hmm. You know, because it feels to me like they are flip-flopping and they're using it more to expose, like you said, to expose things like the fentanyl. Nobody would have talked about the fentanyl coming across the borders in Canada if it wasn't for this tariff business. Although it's hard to keep people focused, sort of normies, focused on what's the real thing Trump's been saying about why the tariffs. Because he wants to clean up the fentanyl and the illegal people coming across the borders, because they flood into Canada. It's just absurd. And a lot of people have dug into that, and turns out it's absolutely true, no matter how much they try to ignore it, deny it. So for years, we've been letting this happen. Okay. And another thing, it's a lot of people that are digging deep into this tariff business. They've discovered that Canada tariffs the U.S. on almost everything. We're way worse than them. Our tariffs are way, way worse. Nobody talks about that. Canada tariffs the hell out of the U.S. products. So it's like, really? Okay, let's have a look. So once again, we got, that Trump derangement syndrome going strong, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's the tariff. According to the cards, what are they all about? So we've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil. So it's way bigger than, it has nothing to do with money or even politics. Okay, both of these cards are way bigger than that. Okay, it's about turning the destiny, turning our world away from who's been controlling the world. Okay, and maybe outing these guys, right? Outing the Khazarian mafia, who rules the deep state, who in turn puts all of their people into governments, right? It's more about that, okay? It's more about, so it's gone a long way to really show you just who Trudeau is. Mm-hmm. You know, the guy's absolutely nobody. If you didn't know that already, the brand that we're now calling Trudeau is absolutely, his father was a horrifying globalist, pedophile, and all kinds of disgusting, and so is he. And it's absolutely incredible that that isn't widely talked about. To me, it's incredible to me. So obvious. They're sitting right in plain sight, ruling your country, getting paid way too much money, because when you look at their bank accounts compared to what they actually get paid, it doesn't make any sense. So they're pillaging. Okay. And we're letting them do it. We've been letting these people do it. And I feel like that's the thing. This is turning the tide. So these guys get put in the spotlight, and see that big ace in the middle. This is shining a big light on what these guys are really up to. So this is how they're doing it. Right. And look at that world card. My goodness, the world. We step away from these guys, these globalist governments forever, with a lot of the things Trump's doing right now. And it's the brand of Trump. Okay. It's not the physical guy is somewhere safe. Okay, in my opinion. Okay. So here, look at this. Look at how many major arcanas. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas, 2 aces. Okay. This is huge. What's going on here? It's like a big part of the plan. The tariffs has nothing to do with literally what you think it does. It's all about outing this and bringing us to a completely different reality with our governments and officialdom. Okay. And it's going to be part of what takes down all of these corrupt systems. And this was the card I had that overviewed the whole year. So 2025, this could go on all year, this kind of taken down stuff. Okay, so we can recreate our world. And one of the biggest things it could even eventually out, somehow the tariffs could out, is maybe we'll move it over to what they're doing to infants and children too, finally. Publicly.
Okay, that is huge, Janine. That's one of the most powerful spreads I've ever seen you pull on anything. That's nuts. Oh my God. And on the topic of Canada, I also want to bring up, because this is just literally as we're going live, going viral on X, Patrick Bet David, the host of Valuetainment podcast, just kind of called out Pierre Poilievre, the main running mate against the Liberals in Canada. For those of you who don't know, our Conservative Party has this leader. Let me bring this up 1 second, you guys. The leader of the Conservatives in Canada currently is Pierre Poilievre. And, you know, he's walking the talk. I don't agree with everything he's saying. He's saying a lot of really good things. Okay. But there's some things that are definitely a bit questionable. And Patrick David Betts just went viral with this little video calling him out on not wanting to go on his podcast, which, Janine, you've seen Valuetainment before, right? This guy, it's one of the biggest freaking podcasts in the world. And why isn't Pierre doing more podcasts? Okay, let's take a little listen to this.
That's what's the sad part.
Well, you know why it's not sad? Because every time we invited Pierre, arrogant, pompous team, the only podcast he ever did is Jordan Peterson. Let me get this straight. You saw Milei win because he went everywhere. You saw Bukele win, he went everywhere. You saw Trump win because he went everywhere. You saw Bobby win because he went everywhere. You saw Vivek become a superstar because he went everywhere. And you deserve losing. And you didn't win. And I said that to Canadians who love him. The candidate you adore and admire and love doesn't want to work. God forbid he has to cross the border and go talk to other borders to bring attention. God forbid, too much travel time. He's got to eat his apple. He's got to eat his apple because he's got to get his apple in his system. Go to New York, do a damn podcast outside of Jordan Peterson. Go do Joe Rogan.
So he's calling out Pierre Poilievre, and I think he actually has a point. Janine, what do you think about that?
Oh, you bet. I've looked into that guy. He's a politician like all of them. Deep state, WEF, the whole thing. And he's just blah, blah, blah. But when you actually look at how he behaved during the pandemic, lockdowns and everything, he was all for it. So, the guy's absolutely full of it. I don't trust a word out of his mouth. And I'll say the same about the Alberta premier, saying all the right things, but turns around and really not for the people in a lot of ways. They're sneaky about it. I feel like these people are just taking advantage of the situation. And as soon as they got in power, they'd be right doing the same thing all of those weffers do.
Right. This kind of segues into what I want to ask Janine, and maybe you've already looked at that earlier today or this past week, but have you looked into the Canadian election situation recently? We know we're going to have the Parliament prorogued in Canada until March 24th. Hopefully we can have an election. We've got Justin Castro, as I like to call him. He was crying today. Did you see him crying today? Oh my God, just like Jiminy Christmas. He's like absolutely pathetic. Let me see if I can bring that up for you guys who haven't seen that yet. Justin is crying today saying, you know, Canada is in a really tough spot right now. Oh my God, this is so funny. Let me break this for you guys. So I want to do a poll on that. Let's just play this really quickly for those of you who may not have seen yet.
Every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why here to tell you all, we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down. On a personal level.
Like, really? Seriously? Okay. How do you want to do this, Janine? Should we do, as of right now, how long are we looking at until the next Canadian election? Now, you and I, we've both seen this movie, Canada, the Illusion. Sorry, I'm going in different directions right now. But you and I, we've both seen the new Canada, the Illusion documentary. Many of our audience members have been commenting that throughout the show as well. So many of us have just learned that supposedly Canada was never even a country to begin with. Actually, we've been sovereign since 1932 and the people were never notified. So the whole government as it is BS at the moment. But we're waiting for this election. Do you want to pull on how long are we waiting until an election, or is there a question even greater than that around Canada that we should maybe be looking at? Yeah. Oh, you're muted, Janine.
Yeah, I got somebody working just below where I'm doing this here.
Okay.
So if you hear some weird noise.
All good.
Okay, let's have a look. So we're looking at when will we see an election?
Yes.
5, 8, 3. Looking like about 3 months down the road. And we could even go in a whole new direction in 3 months is another way you could read that. Mm-hmm. So a whole different way to have an election or a whole different scenario altogether. But a shift happens in about 3 months. Things the way they're sitting have already been, I feel like Canada's already been, some kind of sorting out's already happened, and a change in the background legally what Canada really is. I feel like when you watch that Illusion movie, Canada, the Illusion, it looks like we're vulnerable, but I feel like something's already been done, and I feel like it was done by the Alliance and the White Hat. And I feel like a lot of countries are in the same shape. I don't think it's just Canada. I think if we all look into where we're from, you'll likely find you'll have to really do some digging like they did in that video, Canada, the Illusion. They really crossed their T's and dotted their I's with that one, show you all the paperwork. So it would probably take some real good investigative looking, right? But I feel like you'll find it's all over the world, these situations, and there's already something being done or already done in the past. It relates to a new money system or a new financial system, a gold-backed system, I think, with the sun and this money card here. So somehow it ties into that. And I feel like that, I don't know if we're really like this. I think the whole idea of what's going on politically is all staged and BS. I don't think any of these people really will actually come into power in Canada. I never see it playing out like that. Something totally different is going to happen, I think. And within 3 months, we're going to know what that is. And this could even be 3 weeks, actually, with this card here. We could move into a totally different direction. and maybe away from these kind of political situations altogether, because the system's corrupt, and it's a false system, because we're not even
Right.
dealing with a legit country anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. We're breaking the woos, Janine. We're getting into big woo territory here. A country that we thought was a country our whole lives, especially you and I living in Canada, actually not at all what we thought. So the truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. Is that all that you wanted to share on that, Janine, for now, that spread? Okay, perfect. Let's get into a little bit the March 2025 eclipse season that we are now in the influence of, and it does have a lot to do with pretty much all the subjects we've just talked about. Very big world changes going to be happening with this eclipse season that we are in now. And I've got a few slides to share with you, Janine, and everybody else. And I really felt this funny meme to the right of the slides. It's me, dear spirit guides, what the fuck did I sign up for? That's what this month feels like astrologically, looking at the charts we've got ahead. So for those of you who don't know, during all of March, we are going to be in the influence of an eclipse season. We're having lunar eclipse 23 degrees of Virgo on March 14th and new moon solar eclipse 9 degrees Aries on March 29th. You can see where you have 23 degrees of Virgo and 9 degrees of Aries, where they fall in your personal chart, the houses and planets, if any, because these are areas of life that are going to be highlighted for you for the next 6 months based on the full moon eclipse and the whole next year for the new moon eclipse. Expect big breakthroughs this month for the collective and all 12 signs. Pay attention to your dreams, signs, and synchronicities. It's important to know that during this month of eclipse season, we will also be in the influence of, Janine, it's not just eclipse. This is what's so crazy about March. It's like, okay, an eclipse season is already, that's the biggest thing we can have in astrology every 6 months. Us woo-woo people, we're freaking out because of the eclipses. It's not just that, you guys. We've got Venus retrograde as of March 1st. Sorry, there's a typo on the slide there. From March 1st to April 12th, Venus retrograde. Mercury's going to go retrograde from March 14th to April 7th. Our natural astrological new year on March 20th, the spring equinox, one of those 4 very big portal points of the shift of the big seasons in the calendar. Also this month, Saturn and Neptune, 2 of the outer planets, starting their great conjunction, starting to be within 5 degrees. This isn't going to be exact until February 2026, but creates huge societal changes, dissolving, Neptune rules dissolving of the systems and structures of life. Saturn for the whole world. Neptune for pretty much the whole month will be at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is also bringing, Janine, some of that fogginess and confusion and things being even weirder than we thought they were going to be. But we are going to have Neptune ingress into Aries March 30th, bringing more clarity moving forward from that. So thank goodness about that. And yeah, Neptune moving into Aries. Anything you want to comment there, Janine, before I go to the next slide? Anything you're picking up or?
Wow. Like if you didn't think it was crazy, like, yeah, like she says, what did I sign up for?
What the hell did I sign up for? It's like, wow. So this is also where there's so much going on at the same time that I'm just feeling to share right now, you guys, that, and I've been getting this a lot in my daily astros lately, Janine, intuitively. It's like we have these plans of how we want things to go, but these are such big transits that maybe the plans are going to change. Like I keep hearing the universe saying that the plans are likely to change. If things don't go completely as planned, that's okay. And maybe there's something even better around the corner than what you thought. On the next slide here, we will have our first eclipse in Virgo, a part of the current Virgo Pisces eclipse cycle that we're going to be in from 2024 to 2027. So Virgo eclipse on March 14th. Virgo and Pisces is the health axis in Western astrology, and lunar eclipses are about endings, healing, and completion. So expect during this eclipse season and for the next 6-month period, huge endings in the medical field and institutions. In medical astrology, we are going through a collective physical purging. So a lot of our healths can be affected, you guys. And that's why, we've been repeating it over and over again. Take care of your health. Not that we have to be perfect in life. We've got the South Node in Virgo. So we're letting go of perfectionism right now, paying too much attention to the details. But it is very important for us to be honoring our health. An astrological remedy at this time is to take extra care of your health. Remember, your health is your wealth. We can have all these goals and all these plans, but if we're sick or we're not feeling well, none of that matters. We can't actually manifest any of those things. So also these eclipses are bringing up that there has been a lot of poisoning physically that most of us have received from the old power structure in so many different ways that is losing its power. And we're going through a huge cleansing of that during this eclipse cycle. As I said, we also have the South Node in Virgo. The South Node represents the areas of life we're currently letting go of, going through a big release process in. Virgo, again, is our health. It's also our day-to-day work, day-to-day routines, habits, the 9 to 5, the 5 days a week. So it's going to be interesting, Janine, that might also take a shift over the next 3 years, what we consider the normal, work schedule, working hours, that's Virgo. The routines, there could be a big trend change in the routines. Also habits, how we're being of service to others, our pets. Maybe there will be different kind of animals that become trendy to have pets, or a letting go of a certain animal that's been a pet. Details and cleanliness. So expect big changes in these areas. Anything you want to say on any of that, Janine?
Well, I wonder if maybe the way we handle our pets could change too.
Yeah.
Like the people that, for instance, like for me, maybe we're going to evolve into understanding that animals are sovereign creatures. And if you can't give your creature, I don't know, for me, it's like keeping cats in the house. I understand in the cities you have to, but really, even in the city, I didn't. I just don't believe, cats, really their spirit dies in that. I feel like we're going to understand animals differently, maybe. Yeah. And I love, everything you're talking about here is exactly what the tower talks about. Old structures coming down, and we got to rebuild on a better foundation with our more evolved thinking. And we're growing up as a human race. It's time to take more responsibility and really look at what we're doing and not just take anybody out there's word for stuff. Don't take spiritual leaders. No one leads you. Your soul leads you spiritually. You don't take advice from someone you don't even know. Right? Yeah. Hello, your soul leads you. My spirit has led me my whole life. I didn't even listen or take advice much from my parents. I was polite and a nice child, but I knew early on, okay, I don't know if these guys got it right. I think they got it all wrong. And I just went with that. And I just always listened to my inner voice from a tiny person. Right. And I think we all got to start learning to do that. That's something all of us have to let go of, putting all of or any of your, trying to understand how the world works. Find out from your inner knowing how it works. Ask inside yourself. Introspect into it. Don't go outside looking at books. We don't even know if any of those, who wrote the book? What was their agenda? Who cares? You read it in a book if the person was a deep stater who wrote it. Right. You know what I mean? Education, the way we look at Trump, he's taken down the education system. It's a sign because it's corrupt. It's been creating us into these 9 to 5, and even worse, it's more like 7 to 10 people that work, they don't even 9 to 5. You'd be lucky if you had a job that was 9 to 5 nowadays, right? And it's like we were created to be slaves to a system, and the system is crumbling, and we're realizing what happened to us, and we're going to need to find creative ways to spend our time and energy and create abundance for ourselves and take more responsibility for ourselves, our health, and everything.
Very well said. Yeah, for sure. I'll share this last slide, Janine, and then we'll go on to more stuff. We're not just having a Virgo eclipse, we're also having an Aries new moon eclipse, which is going to be on March 29th. This is exciting because this is going to activate our own internal empowerment and leadership in our own lives over the course of the next year. We will also be, as a collective, wanting real, truthful leaders reflected in the collective. I love that Patrick David Bett just called out Pierre Poilievre, even though I don't know about you guys, I'll just be honest. There's a part of me as a Canadian that not necessarily that I want a hero, but can we just get an effing leader like in charge of this country? Like there's a part of me like, please, can he just be a good guy for once? But you know, if someone's a real truthful leader, they have to be 100% Aries, 100% like in that energy in the present moment. That's what we're yearning for. That's what we're going to be manifesting over the course of the next year. Also, the solar new moon eclipse, 9 degrees of Aries on March 29th, is our last eclipse of the Aries Libra cycle, the relationship axis. We have been in for the past few years. Solar eclipses are about fresh new energies and beginnings. Aries is the first sign in astrology, also ruling new beginnings, as well as empowerment, leaders, bravery, living in the present moment. Aries are totally in the present moment. I love that about them. The divine masculine and more. Also, the country of Canada is a 16 degrees Aries rising. Canada will be one of the most affected countries by the Aries eclipse. Funny, Janine, that supposedly Parliament will be prorogued until just a few days before actually this eclipse. New leadership will come in over the course of the next year, and it will be an intense process. This eclipse is in an almost exact square to Canada's natal sun, and Canada will never be the same and is changing at a rapid pace around the time of this eclipse and beyond. Also, Canadian people are waking up to the illusion of what Canada really is with the eclipse conjunct the country's natal Neptune. So there's quite a bit there, Janine. Before we go to the cards, I just want to mention, I'm sure some of you guys have already heard this, but I'm going to be hosting this March 2025 Eclipse Season Workshop this Sunday, Sunday, March 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern live. So you're welcome to join in live, or you can catch the replay. It's $31 and very affordable for probably going to be a 4 to 5 hour workshop where we get into the nitty gritty in-depth analysis of what this eclipse season is going to do as an influence for the whole next year for the collective and all 12 signs. So you guys can go check that out at the Beyond Mystic Academy. The link is below. If you'd like to join me, we have lots of fun in those eclipse season workshops. Janine, where do we go from here? Should we do a reading specifically on, oh, can you hear me, Janine? Hello? I can see you. Can you hear us? Oh, I think Janine is looking frozen to me, you guys. Can you let us know in the comments? Can you see us or hear us? Can we get a 5 by 5? Janine, if you can hear me, maybe try leaving. Oh, there you
Sorry,
are.
Meg.
That's okay.
Everyone was frozen. I was like, oh no.
No problem. It's okay. Can you hear me?
Okay. So are we good?
You're kind of cutting in and out. You just got frozen again. Everybody's saying Janine is frozen. They can hear me. Yeah, Janine, if you can hear me, maybe try. Oh, there you are. Oh
Okay,
my God.
I can hear you.
There you are. Okay, perfect.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's all the energies, Janine. It's getting crazy.
Oh, now you're frozen.
Oh, shoot.
Oh no.
Hello. Okay, I can see now you're looking. Oh my God. People are saying they can see and hear me, but Janine, you keep going frozen. There you are. Can you hear me, Janine? I can see you and hear you now.
Are you frozen? Meg, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. There's fireworks going off.
Oh boy.
Look at the comments, Janine. They're saying that they can hear and see me, but that you keep freezing. Wait, I don't know if Janine can hear me right now. I'm going to message her.
Okay.
Everyone can hear. Oh, she's going to, I'm just messaging Janine, you guys. Everyone can hear and see me. Try leaving and coming back. Okay, so we're just going to wait a moment here for, I think Janine's going to come back. While we're waiting for Janine, technical difficulties, you guys, while we're waiting for Janine, just want to mention that we've got our Beyond Mystic conference coming up. It's going to be from March 14th to 16th. And the in-person tickets are now sold out, but we still have an extra bandwidth for online streaming passes. So there's limited spaces, $149 if you'd like an online streaming pass. Go to beyondmystic.net to the conference section. If you get an online streaming pass, you're getting over $700 worth of workshops and keynotes for only $149. So can you hear me, Janine?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. We're having a little, that was funny. We were like having this phone tag thing going on.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So yeah, go check that out, you guys, if you would like to join in. It's going to be lots of fun. So I don't know if you heard me, Janine, after we were talking about the eclipses, I wanted to ask you about, could we please do a little reading on the upcoming eclipse season, what we can expect, what's our spiritual guidance coming up with that?
It's interesting that we're all going to be together, those coming to the conference, right on the first day of the eclipse.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's have a look.
Yay. Everyone's saying, yay, Janine's back.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on there.
It happens, you guys, sometimes.
Okay. So the eclipse, interesting. So things hidden, brutal things hidden, coming out. Well, that's been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We could also have more war rhetoric, sort of like coming and going. And even like what I've been calling like the spiritual war coming a little more in everybody's face, which has surfaced all through the year. We've seen these instances where we get led in on, hey, we really are in a war right now. We start to see it like these big fake wildfires where in fact they're being hit with dew weapons, etc. Like there was all of those attacks on the infrastructure in the US, but even all over the world. The war on humanity with weather, and so many people are talking about what's been going on for many years in our skies, which was totally nobody would even talk about in the mainstream media. So meanwhile, we're getting completely our sun blocked out for months and weeks and months, and just changing the weather with everything they're pumping into the skies. It's just been crazy. And it's like, what? Nobody could even talk about it. 2 years ago, nobody was even talking about the chemtrail situation. I believe that might have been shifted already, but it's been a big part of the war. And they're still showing us. By having these chemtrails appearing, and they shut them off sometimes and then go back into it. I think it's being led by White Hat now Alliance, or some of it at least. Thank goodness. And I don't think it's all as dangerous as it used to be. But they're trying about these things online, share memes about it, share information about it. We have to dig, and normies have to stop, ignoring that they're being poisoned and their weather's being altered by these things. I feel like more of that's going to come during the eclipse. You're going to see more where things get outed and get more in your face that you're in a war and things are happening. So here we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So she's a manifester. And then we've got the Two of Swords here. I feel like be really careful. This feels like advice. Be careful about what you're thinking, intending, and visualizing, because I feel like manifesting will become very quick. Like you can manifest like that, things, both good or bad, depending on what it is you're intending, visualizing. So watch your thoughts and take responsibility for what you're putting out there verbally and thinking. Really think about it before you speak about it, or like say you see a really fearful video that obviously is fear porn, before you spread it all over in the community, maybe really feel out if that's something that really could happen, or could that just be fear porn. Try to use your intuitive tools to understand it. Try to feel in your gut, because your gut's really wise. Is this something real, or am I just joining the drama by spreading it around? Things like that, because we could manifest things depending on what it is. It might not be something you want to manifest by your focus. So I feel like that's going to really ramp up during this season of eclipse season.
Wow, Janine, wild readings that you're doing for us this evening. That is how many swords? That's like 6 swords cards. Oh my God.
Yeah. So all about thoughts and words and being careful about them, and also information coming out. So swords, thoughts and words. And it's brutal. So some things that have been hidden for a really long time come out. Well, let's hope that's the Epstein files. Let's hope that's information on adrenochrome. Let's hope let's visualize and intend that information comes out.
That would be amazing. Wow. Love seeing all those swords and the messages coming through. And we've got someone backstage here right now. Do you want to come forward? We've got a special someone with us.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, awesome.
I heard you were having some technical difficulties, so I was going to jump in because I thought Janine was down for the count there for a moment. Thank you so much, Meg, for filling in for me tonight. And thank you guys for all the lovely messages during the live show. No, just crazy, hectic, and busy, and trying to finalize all the details for the conference, the contracts, and all that stuff. And as we were going live, I was dealing with a few things. I said, Meg, can you tag team with me and take the show tonight? And I'm losing my voice too. It's been a long week. So hey, thank you again, Meg, for stepping in tonight. You guys are doing well, and hello everyone this evening. There's a couple of questions in the live chat to which I don't have an answer yet too. So let me start with the first one. I'll try to give you a couple of updates. People are asking whether or not the schedule next week will be our normal broadcasting schedule. I don't believe so. Most of the staff will be traveling, moving to Ottawa, already in Ottawa, prepping for the conference. We're there like 5 days before the conference, getting everything for you guys too. But we might be able to sneak in 1 or 2 and maybe some impromptu shows. I just don't want to promise them and not be able to deliver, depending on what the situation looks like when we get to the Ottawa conference hall and start prepping. So I guess best bet for now, give us a couple of days here to reorganize and see what's left. There's always some little loose ends maybe that we're going to have to deal with last minute that we still don't know about. So at that point, once we have a better idea, we'll put an update on the schedule page for you guys. The other question was for the online streaming pass earlier. Yes, still a few available. We did manage to buy a second bulk of bandwidth from the venue for that, guys. So it's available now. And if you haven't bought it already, I would suggest you don't wait too long, as they are going pretty fast here since we put them out the other day. And excited about that too. And what else? The Eclipse Workshop. Did we talk about that, guys?
Yeah,
we talked about that. You did?
Yep.
Okay. So that's up and running. And people were asking about the second conference. Okay. So, I know we're excited because Janine and I did a show the other day, and we can kind of already see the Beyond Mystic Conference 2.0 taking shape, and we talked about the theme for that, but we don't have a date yet. No, I know you guys are excited, although we are kind of leaning towards Florida, so a lot of people are asking about that. So we'll make more announcements about that sometime after this conference is over. But really excited. We're almost there, guys. Last couple of days here of prepping for us, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you guys in Ottawa, and of course all of you guys watching us also on the online streaming pass. We keep adding more. It was the promise when we first set out the conference. I said there was 2 people on the poster. It was Janine and I, and now there's a whole list of people on the poster, and we've kept adding to the product offer for you guys, and that's what we do here at Beyond Mystic. We keep trying at least all the time to over deliver for you guys. So thank you, everyone, for all the amazing comments. Was there anything else, Meg, you wanted me to address? I know there's more questions in the live chat. Anything else? Or are we good?
I think that's everything major. I think I'll be able to do my daily Astros all of next week. Okay. So pretty sure I'll be good to do that. So those will be there. But yeah, there's a bunch of other shows that, like you're saying, it'll be too much for.
Right. Well, for sure. For example, the Friday, Intuition Friday with Penny Kelly and Ashala, that won't work. They're going to be at the event already, prepping their booths and all that. So for sure, next Friday we'll be off. But yeah, like I said, guys, give us a couple of days here to kind of finalize and make sure that we know where we're at with the whole schedule, and we don't deal with unexpected surprises, which of course there's always unintended surprises. And you know, crazy wild world we're living in, and at least we have somewhat of a reprieve right now with Trump delaying the tariffs again, so it's going to cool down in Ottawa a little bit, at least for a couple of weeks, so that's interesting. Now, I had a question for you, and I don't know if you addressed it earlier tonight in the show. I missed part of it. It was the question about Megan, you're the expert on this. How do we, and maybe if you already addressed it, maybe say it in a different way here, but how do we use these eclipse energies for our highest good? How do we harness that energy? What else can we share with the honest members? Because that seems to be the big nugget right now of interpretation for everyone. There's a lot going in with these energies, but for the adept and for the masters in us, we definitely can use these energies, not just to manifest, as Janine was saying, but what would you recommend also, Meg?
Yeah, well, I always like to say that eclipse seasons are one of the most underrated things in astrology to pay attention to in our personal charts. So that's when, if you're ever getting an astrology reading and an astrologer is bringing up the current eclipse cycle and where that's activating in your chart, you know, you're talking to a really good astrologer, because that really, it shows up. Everyone I talk to, whatever's going on in their life, or that what I like to say, JC, is the areas that are most in alignment for you to be focusing on, kind of like the astrological weather that is working, is where the eclipses are activating in your chart. So we're going to be going through that for all the sun, moon, and rising signs in the live eclipse season workshop on Sunday.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And what time are you live on Sunday, Meg?
I think 1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys, check that out on beyondmystic.academy. Is there still a coupon code running? Put the poster back.
I believe so.
It's still on, eh?
Yeah, I think it's automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you don't want to miss that workshop. I think it's going to be a really good one for you guys. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Janine?
Well, I was just going to say I'll be doing my Monday world news, and then Wednesday I'm traveling, so that I won't be doing the world news until the next Monday. So I'll be missing the one world news. And then and also the Thursday, I'll be missing that too. So the quick pick, so that won't be available. But the next Monday, I'll do it from I'll just do a real homegrown world news, because by then we're going to really need to do that. That'll be Monday morning, because I'm leaving Tuesday from the conference. So the next Monday, I'll do one from the hotel.
Right. And well, thank you for that. And Janine, and 2 other things also. So the typical Thursday night Beyond the News show, the one you're watching now, next Thursday will not happen, but we will be recording it live in front of the audience on Saturday at the conference. And that will be available broadcast across our platforms, not just for those who have the online streaming pass, as well as the Wacky Woo that is normally on the Sunday evening. We'll be doing that one on the Sunday afternoon as well. So stay tuned for that. Those 2 typical shows per week. We're still going to do those, but on different time slots here for the week of the conference. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I would just say too, JC, if you're coming from a warm climate, you're coming up to Canada, you bring a warm coat. Okay.
Yes. And also bring your dancing shoes. I'm told there's going to be some really cool DJs and a lot of fun for you guys. So it's not just learning and sharing in the experience of the Woo beginning, but it's also a big party. And I want everybody to have so much fun, to meet new friends for life, and really make this a memorable event. And we have 3 amazing artists who are playing from Friday night, of course, with Meg, Saturday, and also Sunday. And this guy here too might show up. So we'll see. And he might be clean shaven also, as somebody was asking earlier. So bring your dancing shoes, yes, and your warm clothes in case you want to walk around in Ottawa and do a little bit of the sightseeing while you're there as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you so much, JC, for hopping on. We know you're doing so much, you and Sarah and everybody, to prepare. So thank you so much for all your hard work. It's going to be amazing, you guys, the conference, for everyone coming in person and also taking part in the online streaming pass. So that's amazing. There's more bandwidth, you guys. If you want to take part, it's going to be so worth it to join us for the conference virtually if you can't make it in person. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Before we finish up,
dark website and these abuser websites have been exposed, right? So a big part of the exposure to satanic ritual abuse is getting these big porn websites down and pedophile websites. Disgusting. That anyone would even go on something like that. Just disgusting. But anyway, I want to know what the heck's going on for her to come out. And then I want to know if she's safe, because can you imagine coming out about something like that with a family like that? Okay, so we're just going to look around and go check my Telegram or X, because I've put that article up on both Telegram and X. Okay. So let's have a look at, first of all, around the young woman's claims. And then we're going to ask if she's safe after that, if it looks like she's telling the truth. Here, let me adjust that a little. Well, she looks like she might be in hiding. See that 4 of Pentacles? And it also looks like it was very difficult for her to do that. So Strength card, Major Arcana. So she's telling the truth. She's a really strong person. You bet. Like when you listen to that, it sounded true to me. This is interesting. So I feel like she might have been emboldened by all the truther and things coming out about it. I feel like it's going to embolden a lot of people that have suffered from satanic ritual abuse. There's a lot of info out there on social medias around this subject, where even 5 years ago, barely anyone was talking about it. And if they were, a lot of people were dismissing it. And that's just not the case anymore so much. Like, of course, there's a lot of people still dismissing it, but a lot more people are paying attention to it. Okay, so yes, she's absolutely telling her truth. You bet. Now there's the 7 of, I think it'll, a lot more people will be implicated because of her truth that she tells. I also get with that Emperor in the middle that the White Hat Alliance probably has their eye on. I feel like this actually seems to answer the question, does she, like who put her up to it? Her own self. I feel like her own self went ahead and did this. That's some energy that follows their heart emotionally. And I feel like she dips in and out of thinking she did the right thing. I mean, it must be scary. Right now, she's looking really fearful because that's in the right now where she's sitting, but she is a strong person to even be able to do it. We've got this Ace and 3. So she waited till she was safely somewhere far away from her family to do that. So to put that out. So she's staying somewhere. But that doesn't answer in the right now. Does she continue to be safe? So we'll look at that as a secondary question. But she's absolutely telling the truth. And it doesn't look like she was put up to it by anybody. It looks like she came to it herself. Wow. But I also get that eyes on from the White Hat Alliance. They've got eyes on her, but let's make sure she's going to be safe. Yeah, go watch the article after you're done watching this video. It's absolutely fascinating. I mean, horrifying, but fascinating. And I feel like it's important that just more, so please do share it on your social medias if you think you can do that, because it really, we need this kind of thing out there. Okay. It's like firsthand accounts and how families are involved. And so they're not only transitioning their kids from a young age, which is child abuse, okay, like babies, infants, but they're also doing this, you know, like sexually abusing them and having them MK altered. Like, it's absolutely horrifying what they're doing with these children. Their children are not safe with these elites. And oftentimes the child isn't even literally technically theirs, like birthed from natural mother, father, because we know about those families and how they're created. And often they don't have a natural thing going on where you could have a physical natural birth with the transitioned parent, usually the mother. Okay, so like there's all of that going on, and it's just horrifying. Reading these accounts of these people that had to go through that. Okay, so we're looking at, she certainly wasn't safe. She's now safe. This is in the present moment, but she had to go through a lot. So she's been through a lot to get to wherever she is. She had to literally escape an unsafe environment. I feel like she escaped someone that was her handler. Somebody was handling her, because by the age of 14, these people that are abused, satanic ritual abuse, and if they're involved in those cult families, by 14, they expect the child to now make a choice to be involved going forward, or so they stop the abuse where it's forced upon them, and they expect them to join in, abuse others themselves, and be abusers and become abusers, and often even to ritually sacrifice at that point. That's what we've heard from accounts. And, you know, if they refuse to, at some point after 14, that's their chance to escape. I mean, I'm sure it's not easy though, and it looks like it was really difficult for her. And I don't know how old she would be, but I'm looking at her thinking like 18 or something. So it might have taken her some time even to untangle herself enough to even be able to put that video out. So here we've got the King of Pentacles here, and we've got the 8. So let me know in the comments if you happen to notice I didn't notice an age they gave her. So let me know in the comments if you happen to have spotted that in any of the articles. Okay, so see this 8 of Pentacles here. Okay, so I feel like, yes, she's safe. She had to escape a handler, it looks like. And here we've got the Prince of Swords. She had to pretend she was going to stay in the cult. And then she had to probably spent years escaping. Okay, planning and plotting her escape. And I feel like somebody helped her. A generous person, maybe somebody close to the family, who knows, maybe even a driver, because, you know, maybe she had a driver. She definitely had a handler. And if they're wealthy and they're, you know, in the station that woman was in, her mother, the minister, in the government, maybe they had drivers, maybe they had people cooking for them, etc. Who knows who that could have been, but somebody took her under their wing a little and helped her plan her escape. It was a man, it looks like. Okay, so here we've got the Page of Swords. Here's in the near future. So that feels like you'll hear more about this, and we might even hear from her on the subject later. She's gonna let us know, like, I feel like she might even write something, or like she has writing ability, certainly public speaking ability when you hear her speak. So I feel like she's brave and has a mission now to out this kind of thing. We've got the Star and the King of Wands. So I feel like the Alliance and the white hat team are going to look out for her coming in the future. And it looked like they already had eyes on her. Okay, so that's a good thing. Wow. Okay, so my second question is brought to you by a digital soldier who is a frequent contributor to emails me with really good insights. So I thought this was a really good thing to ask here. Why, here's a quote from that digital soldier. Why are the white hats playing with their food? Okay, so what he means by that is it really does look like they've got it all on some real very creepy people. Like, for instance, Fauci, they got lots of info on Fauci. They've got lots of info on this guy here, the guy, the Facebook guy. Okay, they've got so much that proves he's a traitor and treasonous. Fauci as well, like a murdering plotter. Just so much on these guys, and they're not arresting them in public. Like, it's frustrating. So it's like they're playing with their food, so they keep outing this stuff, but not arresting them in public. So it's getting annoying. Okay, so there's 3 reasons put forward here for why. And I don't know if there'll be any one of those 3 or something altogether different, but I'll just lay out the 3. So we're looking for possibly storytelling purposes. That's why they're doing it. They're drawing out the story. Okay. Maybe hoping more people will notice what's going on. Timing of the movie or the theater. So that's one thing that might be going on. Or this might be the reason. They're running into snags with the deep state, and possibly they're getting threats from the still functioning members, the few, I believe few, functioning members of the deep state that are left standing. Possibly those people are threatening, and this has happened before in the past. We've seen they've threatened to use HARP, I think they still have some access somehow. And also they have access to things like maybe dirty bombs and stuff, okay? Or they have the wherewithal to make that kind of stuff, and they have the MK Ultra people to do it. Okay, so I feel like maybe that's those threats, so they're trying to mitigate those threats. And they're being very careful. So that would be the second reason, maybe. The third reason might be they're waiting for a natural event. And that natural event they might have spotted using Operation. Now, I added this part. This wasn't, the digital soldier didn't write this part. Using Operation Looking Glass. Maybe they saw ahead and saw a natural event, and they want to run with it. So in the middle of or just at the beginning of the natural event, so a natural event like a huge flood, like a polar shift, although I got the polar shift already happened, or sort of maybe is happening. Maybe it's something really big, like a huge world event of some kind, and they want to utilize that world event to take down and do the big arrests. Possibly that's it. Okay, so let's have a look at, is it any of these 3? And I got ways I can read the cards. If it's natural event, we'll probably see the Empress in there and some pentacle cards. If it's the storytelling and movie timing thing, we're going to see maybe some of those movie cards we see. Yeah, I got ways I can figure this out. And if it's, running into snags, we'll see like deep state cards, the devil, the tower, stuff like that. Okay, so let's have a look. What is it? What is holding these big, public arrests up when we know they've got all the stuff on the guys, the people? It's not just guys, obviously, the humans. Or, well, some of them aren't human. Just have a look at that creepy guy that supposedly is the owner of Facebook. Is that a human? I don't think so. That is a lizard if I ever saw one. Okay, so we've got the Fool and the 3 of Wands. The Fool is interesting because it's okay, that's in. Now we might have a fourth thing they're doing here. They need it to be unexpected. They need it to be unexpected. They've had a couple of different timelines they were going to put it on. They're watching for, okay, so this is a little different than any of those three. It looks like they're watching the public's interest in things and what they're looking at and how they're reacting to things out in the news, in the fake news, in the truther news. They're watching and looking at how we are operating. Okay, and here, this is interesting. We've got surrender, but now a side note also, it looks like there's a physical event, so maybe an event they know is coming, that they can't do anything about, and I feel like they might even know the timing of that event, and they're going to go in line with that. So that's also affecting their timing. So it's not that they are waiting for an event. They don't know when it'll happen. They seem to know the timing of this, and they have to work around this event. Okay, so that's almost the timing one is correct, but not necessarily just for the sake of theater. The timing is because they have to work with the spirit world and nature, okay, and a natural timing of things. And also, it feels like they're looking for this to be so surprising for everybody, because that'll be part of the shift. When we're met with huge transformational situations, it helps us quantum leap. Okay, this guy takes a quantum leap through surprises and ends up much more evolved because he got him, walked right off a cliff, found out he could fly, kind of thing, found out he could. Yeah, so he tested his limits by just trusting and walks right off a cliff. Like the Fool is maybe is surprising everybody with what they do, but also surprises themselves. And there's an enlightenment that comes along with that kind of trust. So they're trusting that their timing, which looks like it's going alongside the universal events, right? So they know things, they know what's coming, and they know how it'll go down, and they're trusting that their timing is the best for. And there might be one or two different timelines they're kind of working with and playing with. It's the best for the most advancement in humanity, and will evolve through the experience. Okay, so they're keeping in mind all of those things. So it's almost all of those things. Wow, it's not one in particular. It's a very complex thing. All right, that is fascinating. Now we've got this helicopter crash. Okay, so the helicopter crash. What do we got? Helicopter. Yeah, there we go. So the fellow is an executive of a big company there. You see the company, Siemens. And this guy and his whole family, I believe, supposedly died in that crash. Okay, now there's a few interesting things. One of them is when you look at the footage of it, when they're taking the helicopter out of the water later, the helicopter's all black and has white where the black is and black where the white is. Okay, so there's really interesting potential that they're giving us a George Floyd situation here. Could this be a psyop? Okay, who's fooling us here? Is this a deep state psyop? Is this a white hat psyop? What's going on? Because it seems to me there's a lot of contradicting stories out there about what happened here. Was this guy targeted? Why did they use this guy and his family? If it was a psyop, why did they use, it's fascinating. So we're going to look around just what the heck's going on here. And it's interesting that once again, first of all, it's a crash. So an airborne thing crashes. That there's been a lot of those lately. And secondly, it's a big CEO's family gets killed. So that really does look suspicious. But thirdly, so it gets you, here's what I think. It gets you looking into what was that guy doing? What did he just do? So there's lots of stories about that. What is he for or against? Okay, and who's actually orchestrated this? If it is a psyop, and or is it actually real? What's going on here? So let's have a look. All around that crash. Do share anything else you got on that, stories around that, because there's been so many things people have pointed out that are, yeah, right away. So secrets are afloat here. Okay, secrets are afloat, or they could have been secreted away. So whatever you're hearing in the news is probably not true. Ooh, do you think? Okay, yeah, interesting. So there's no death cards here. There's not even disaster cards or the Three of Swords. I would say this is a psyop. Absolutely. And they're wanting you to go down some rabbit holes because of it. So look into the company this guy was running, look into recent things that this guy said, look into, so this looks like a white hat because that's where it comes from. And that's not the devil card. That's not the Hierophant card. Okay, or even the Seven of Cups, which would be from dysfunctional and shady characters type of things. Not even the King of Cups, which would be another shady potential. Like that guy's hiding a lot of things and not to be trusted. Okay, I'm thinking that these guys were secreted away, so they must have needed to get out of Dodge here. And they took the whole family into hiding is what it looks like. And it looks like it was white hat. So there's a reason why they wanted you to look into this company, and they used this big psyop to do it. Something's going to come out because this is in the near future that is absolutely important, and maybe hasn't even surfaced yet. So I feel like this is part of the war. And it's some kind of, it could even be sending a message beyond what we're going to get out of it when we go down the rabbit holes. It could be sending a message to the bad guys. Okay, somehow it's sending a message to them, really clear message. And there's more things coming out around this that'll help us put the pieces together that aren't ready to be revealed yet, because that card says they're waiting on even more. Something will be sort of the smoking gun around why they might have did this psyop. Okay, so just keep an eye on this story. So that family, according to my cards, did not go down in a helicopter. And actually, the more you look at the news reports about it, this BS-ier and psyop-ier it gets. Okay. Let's look at digital IDs. So a lot of people are talking about it. People are saying it's already happening in some countries. China already has it. I want to look at, is this something we got to be leery of? We already in airports, you are getting scanned your face. You're like, if I go to the US, like when I went on the Truther tour, I didn't have to show my passport. It was all digital. I had to look in a camera. Okay, so obviously they've already scanned all of our faces, that stuff's. What I want to know is this technology going to be used, because it's already being used, to our demise as humanity and taking more and more rights away? Or are they actually going to use it for the good going forward? Like, is this something we all need to absolutely worry about? I mean, I would definitely not comply to it if there was a way I could say no to it myself, just because it feels too invasive, but it seems to be already in play everywhere. Okay. So, let's hope that it gets used going forward with good intentions by the White Hat Alliance. If in fact there is that sock, as is nicknamed by Cliff High, going forward, if that group really does exist, which I believe does. Okay, but not everybody does believe that group exists, but I believe they do. The cards seem to think they do too. Okay, but I'm wondering, is this something we have to deeply concern ourselves with? Is this going to be a further erosion of our rights, or will it actually be spun somehow in the future to work to our benefit? Okay, let's have a look. Because I can see some benefits to knowing who's where, obviously, especially if you're somebody who's been perpetrating evil in the world. But at the same time, it does take a lot of rights and privacy away from all the rest of us. Okay, let's have a look. That's a really unique card that says something's going on. Okay, so this is a big part of what the war, they've been fighting in the war. So the war that the deep state is fighting against and the White Hat Alliance are fighting against the deep state, that's a big part of the fighting. They're fighting for the right to use the technology that already exists. Okay, so not to have it not be used against humanity. So that's an ongoing fight that's happening, and we've got the judgment card. It's really important that everybody notices and becomes aware and isn't just compliant to it and pipes up about their awareness. I feel like we're going to get more fear porn around it, and it looks worse before it gets better. Remember that road trip I always talk about? You guys all would have heard this story by now a million times, so I won't repeat it. But the road trip, the signs got worse and worse, but the roads got better and better. I think that's what that's saying, because this card says unnecessary worry. There's going to be more concern about it before it all gets turned around, it looks like. So this comes first. It's going to be used in the future for the benefit of humanity. It'll be karmically adjusted to be a tool used for the good. But not, it's not going to take away more rights, but it'll first look like it is. So watch for that in the coming days and weeks. I already feel like you're really hyping up the news about it. And it does look really scary. So you're going to see a lot of scary news reports, but I feel like even by August, you'll see where they're going to how they're going to actually use it for the good of humanity, not for our demise. Okay, because she is sovereign and available to be your true self. So I feel like we'll be able to work with this technology for the good. Not sure how, because this card says it's going to be in a really unique way, spun in a good way. But we won't really see it at first. For the next little while, it's just going to ramp up looking scary. Okay, so keep that in mind when you hear all the scary news reports. And of course, if you get a chance to weigh in, say, absolutely, you don't want any more rights taken away than you already have. Like, don't just comply to stuff, right? We have to speak up about what we're not okay with. Okay, so I got one more. And this is crazy. Like, there's a huge statue, 90 foot tall. I don't even know if this is true. Okay, what I want people to do, weigh in from Texas. Are you from, where is it called? Sugarland, was it? I think it was Sugarland, Texas, supposedly. There's a Hindu statue. So it's a Hindu god, Hanuman. Okay, so I don't even know what that god stands for, but somebody maybe let us in on it. Also, there's a squirrel right next to this. So this great big golden statue, 90 foot tall, residing over Texas. What on earth is going on? Okay. And it doesn't even look like it's a human. Like when you look at this energy, it's a creature of some kind. Okay. So somebody who knows more about that god, what they're calling a god, a Hindu god, let us know. Okay, because what does that stand for? Okay, and what on earth is it doing in Texas? Okay, all over the world, we're seeing all of this big trend, and it looks like, to me, it looks like a big psyop for everybody to wake up to what's happening, like away from, like in these really traditionally Christian places like the UK or whatever. Now so many people moved in there that Islam is bigger than Christianity, and they're taking over the neighborhoods, the streets, the churches are gone, the mosques are, like this is an agenda, obviously, and we'll get into that Islam one another time because that's very involved, and I want Jean-Claude to help me with that, unpack that. But I just thought, let's take a glance at what on earth are they doing, putting up a 90-foot statue of a Hindu god in Texas. Okay, what's going on? Who are they nodding this to? What are they trying to wake people up that, this could happen anywhere, like where your places, you're basically getting overrun and overtaken by different cultures hey, by the way, that happened to the indigenous peoples here. But okay, and here, that's another thing. So if it existed that there was these other cultures before sort of what we thought were the first white people to come to North America. Okay, where did all those old buildings, Tartaria buildings, it appears, what was that group, and why don't we hear about that? So we just hear that it was all plains all across Canada and then into British Columbia. It started to get more coastal indigenous people. But they were all just tribal, and there was no cities or towns. And then, but all of a sudden, now we're hearing that there could have been already lots of places built up by Tartarians. I'm so confused. Like, I don't know about you guys. So that's a whole nother many shows. We're going to have to unpack all of this. Like, or stories about what was happening with indigenous people and the first white contact. Is that even true? Like, what was really happening? So if Tartarians were here and those old buildings were here, that changes that history too. Like, I'm so confused. Like, I don't know about you guys, but we got so much to learn in the coming years. But we're going to start by asking that question about this statue. Why did they put that there? Who put it there? That looks like a psyop to me. That looks like the white hats having a little fun, going, this could happen to you in your town. And it's happening all over the world in different ways, where just things are being dropped on places that make no sense. Okay, so if somebody can make sense of that, please let me know in the comments, because I'm not seeing any sense in it. Okay, so we've got the Four of Pentacles, another thing where we don't get to know yet. So that's resistance to know something or hanging on to something. Now we've got the Four of Wands. None of this looks like it's not true. I'm getting that it's probably a true story. So like, honestly, I thought somebody just made that up. So let me know if you're from Sugar Land, Texas. Who okayed this? Who on earth said it was okay to put that up? Like, what? Okay, I'm so confused. Is a huge part of the population Hindu? That could well be. That is certainly the case in, for instance, around Vancouver. Outskirts of Vancouver, all the outer lying cities and towns, huge population of Indians from India. Yeah, you bet. And so maybe that's what they're, like they decided that was a cool thing to do. Let me know what's going on in Sugar Land, Texas, okay? Okay, so now we got the Magician. Okay. I really do feel like it's to get people to wake up politically to what's going on. Okay, so it's like a wake-up call to politically look at what's going on. You are being invaded. Okay. And it could even be there's a tiny bit of humor to it, like putting up a statue that big, fourth biggest in all of the U.S. supposedly. So according to these cards, it's real. So again, let me know if you're from Sugar Land, Texas. I really want to know. Let us know in the comments right away if you've seen this thing and who okayed it. Okay, so to me, it looks like it's part of the theater. This is a political card. That's theater, political theater. That's who done it here. They put it up to go, hello, this could happen to you. It could happen anywhere. If it can happen in Texas, it can happen anywhere. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching my video. And do take care.
Lại dễ dẫn tới họa sát thân. Ngươi hiểu chứ? Đàm lập tức há hốc mồm, lắp bắp nói, vậy để lại là được rồi. Nói xong có chút áy náy nhìn xem Sở Dương giải thích. Sở Dương, đệ cũng không phải là keo kiệt không muốn cho huynh, mà là, này, Lạc, ta hiểu. Sở Dương ôm lấy bả vai hắn, nói thật trầm, huynh đệ tốt. Đàm, sao người biết đang muốn đi ra ngoài? Sở Dương hỏi. Mấy ngày nay huynh vẫn một mực chuẩn bị, lại không nói gì với đệ cũng không ngốc. Hai chúng ta đã ở cùng một chỗ vài chục năm rồi, cứ hễ là chuyện gì mà huynh không nói cho ta biết thì đều là chuyện rất nguy hiểm. Đàm hậm hực nói, hơn nữa mấy ngày này sư phụ rõ ràng cố gắng thân cận với huynh thêm chút nào hay chút ấy. Nếu đệ mà còn không biết thì quả thật đã trở thành thằng ngốc rồi. Sở Dương cười ha hả. Đàm ngừ một tiếng, đột nhiên vô cùng chân thành nói, Sở Dương, đệ không biết huynh muốn đi đâu, nhưng đệ nhất định sẽ chăm chỉ luyện công để tương lai đi giúp huynh giải quyết rắc rối. Tốt, ta chờ ngươi. Đến lúc đó, lại để cho huynh đệ chúng ta đồng tâm đi nghịch chuyển cái thiên hạ này đi. Sở Dương hùng tâm sôi sục, thét dài một tiếng, cảm thấy trong nội tâm một cổ niềm tin tất thắng trào lên sôi sục. Có huynh đệ tốt như vậy, ta sao có thể không gắng sức lên chứ? Nên biết rằng lần này nghịch chuyển là cũng muốn đem vận mệnh của Đàm đồng thời cải biến. Huynh đệ như vậy, ta sao có thể cam lòng để hắn chết đây? Cả 3 ngày sau đó Mạnh Siêu Nhiên đều ra sức tiến hành huấn luyện toàn bộ mọi mặt đối với Sở Dương. Thậm chí có thể nói rằng trong 3 ngày này thầy trò hai người hầu như đều ở lì trong phòng. Trong thời gian này Mạnh Siêu Nhiên có thể nghĩ được nổi bất kỳ kỹ năng nào thì cũng lập tức đem ra truyền lại cho Sở Dương. Không ngơi nghỉ nổi nhét hàng đống kinh nghiệm giang hồ cùng một loạt các mánh lớn mưu sinh của mình vào đầu hắn. Những thứ này tuy Sở Dương phần lớn đều đã biết rõ, nhưng hắn cũng cực kỳ thích hưởng thụ loại cảm giác được sư phụ quan tâm che chở này. Vậy nên từng lời của Mạnh Siêu Nhiên thì hắn đều rất chân thành lắng nghe, hết sức hưởng thụ lấy sự ôn nhu trong thời gian ngắn ngủi này. Sự ôn nhu như vậy của sư phụ ngay ở kiếp trước hắn cũng chưa hề được hưởng thụ, nên ở kiếp này Sở Dương cực kỳ không muốn bỏ qua. Hắn biết rõ là nếu mình không chịu lắng nghe thì tuy ngoài miệng Mạnh Siêu Nhiên cũng sẽ không nói gì cả, nhưng trong nội tâm sẽ vô cùng khó chịu. Sở Dương không muốn làm cho sư phó khó chịu. 3 ngày chớp mắt trôi qua. Ngày cuối cùng, Sở Dương bước ra khỏi cửa phòng, lặng nhìn sương sớm lượn lờ, hít vào một hơi thật sâu không khí của buổi ban mai. Ánh mắt nồng nàn lưu luyến. Hôm nay là ngày hắn phải rời khỏi nơi đây, chuyến đi này cũng không biết khi nào mới trở về nữa, cũng không biết có thể trở về được hay không nữa. Đêm qua trút xuống một trận mưa lớn, nơi nơi trong Tử Trúc Viên đều như được một giường, không khí thanh tân tươi mát, từ khi trời còn mới tang tảng. Sáng thì Mạnh Siêu Nhiên đã nói là muốn lên núi hái thuốc rồi bỏ đi mất hút. Sở Dương biết rằng đây là sư phụ không đành lòng ly biệt cho nên kiếm cớ né tránh. Bỗng trong nhà xí vọng ra một tiếng kêu sợ hãi, rồi ngay tiếp đó thì Đàm hớt hải chạy vội ra, cả người mang theo một cỗ mùi thối nồng nặc, toàn thân dơ bẩn không thể tả. Sở Dương không khỏi ngạc nhiên, thằng này như thế nào mà trong tay vẫn đang nắm con cá hấp linh thánh ngư kia chứ? Đàm mặt mũi tràn đầy vẻ xấu hổ phiền não phóng vọt qua Sở Dương, không thèm nhấc mắt nhìn hắn tới nửa cái mà lót vào trong phòng, đem hấp linh thánh ngư kia ném cái tõ một tiếng vào trong xô. Chớp mắt sau Đàm đột ngột khỏa thân lần nữa phóng vọt ra khỏi phòng, ôm một cái thùng gỗ tại cạnh ao lên cùng dội nước ào ào từ đầu đến chân, cũng phải mất vài thùng thì mùi thối mới đỡ được một tí. Sở Dương vốn đang man mác buồn vì sắp ly biệt lại bị thằng đệ này làm cho đầu óc quay mòng mòng. Thằng này làm gì mà như bệnh tâm thần vậy chứ? Đây là làm trò vì gì? Chẳng lẽ sáng sớm đã ngã vào hố phân à? Đàm rốt cục cũng đem cả người dọn dẹp sạch sẽ xong, như tia chớp quay ngược lại vào phòng, dùng thế sét đánh không kịp bưng tay mặc vào một bộ y phục rồi sau đó đem quần áo bẩn vo thành một đống ném ra cạnh bờ ao. Sau đó Đàm mới vác cái vẻ mặt cười như mếu đi ra ngoài, khuôn mặt nhanh như quả mướp đắng, còn chưa mở miệng nói gì đã thở dài thườn thượt. Làm sao vậy? Sở Dương nheo nheo mắt hỏi, ai, đừng nói nữa. Đàm Đàm khóc không ra, nước mắt trả lời, nguyên lai thằng này từ khi đạt được hấp linh thánh ngư kia xong thì cũng coi nó như bảo bối mà nuôi dưỡng cẩn thận trong xô nơi góc phòng, thỉnh thoảng cho ăn chút ít đồ ăn như rong rêu các loại. Nhưng ai ngờ tới hôm qua thì con cá này lại phơi cái bụng trắng nhởn ra mà bập bềnh trôi ngửa trong xô. Đàm Đàm vô luận chọc ngoáy như thế nào thì con cá cũng không phản ứng lấy nửa động tác, cứ một mực ưỡn bụng trôi lềnh bềnh trong xô, không có nửa điểm sinh khí. Đàm Đàm hôm nay vớt nó lên, mới phát hiện thân thể hấp linh thánh ngư đã trở nên cứng đờ từ lúc nào. Hắn chỉ còn biết bi ai thở dài, đem con cá cầm trên tay mà than khóc. Ai dè lại vừa vặn muốn đi nhà xí nên thuận tay cầm theo con cá vào nhà xí. Trong lòng thầm nghĩ dù sao nó cũng đã chết, thôi thì ném nó luôn xuống hố phân. Nhưng sau khi hắn đem con cá ném vào hố phân thì lại xảy ra chuyện tình cực kỳ không tưởng tượng được. Con cá khỉ gió đó lại đột nhiên quẫy mình sống dậy, theo làn nước dội nhà xí mà âm mưu chạy trốn, hoạt bát vô cùng. Đàm Đàm cực chẳng đã đành bất đắc dĩ nhảy xuống bắt lại con cá. Lại càng bi kịch hơn chính là đêm qua vừa đổ xuống một trận mưa lớn cho nên hôm nay Đàm Đàm cơ hồ là tương đương với bơi lặn trong hố xí một lần. Khục khục. Ha 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 ha. Nghe xong chuyện này, Sở Dương ôm bụng, thở không ra hơi, cong người cười sặc sụa. Nằm mơ cũng không nghĩ ra vị sư đệ này của mình lại có thể làm ra một chuyện rạng rỡ cỡ đó. Đàm Đàm than thở, vẻ mặt bi ai oán hận mắng, để sao biết được cái con cá chết tiệt này nó bị dở người kiểu đó chứ. Đang yên yên lành lành làm cá trong xô thì lại quay đơ ra vẻ một bộ tử thi làm gì. Bị ném vào hầm cầu thì lại tung ta tung tăng. Chẳng lẽ cái con cá chết tiệt này cứ phải ở chỗ thối hoắc mới có thể sống được sao? Sở Dương xoa bụng, nước mắt giàn giụa, người ngốc quá đi mất. Hấp linh thánh ngư hấp thu thiên địa linh khí xong thì chính nó cũng phải tiêu hóa chứ. Nếu hấp thu đã đủ thì nó sẽ bất động thôi. Lặng yên tiêu hóa hết rồi sau mới có thể tiếp tục hấp thu tiếp. Cho nên trong khoảng thời gian nó đang tiêu hóa thiên địa linh khí thì mới chính là lúc võ giả mượn nhờ thiên địa linh khí mà nó hấp thu được để tu luyện hiệu quả nhất. Mà ngươi vậy mà đem nó ném vào hầm cầu. Đàm Đàm há hốc miệng tựa hồ có thể đút bừa cả quả trứng ngỗng. Huynh sao không nói sớm, ngươi cái đồ đần. Sở Dương tỏ vẻ hận rèn sắt không thành thép mà nói, hấp linh thánh ngư này cho dù bị chôn sâu dưới mặt đất cũng còn có thể sống được. Thế mà tới khi ngươi nuôi trong xô lại chết sao? Dáng dùng cái đầu đặc sệt cắn mai của ngươi cẩn thận ngẫm lại đi chứ. Hơn nữa, nó vốn sống nhờ vào thiên địa linh khí. Ngươi có cho nó ăn cái gì cũng không có tác dụng đâu. Ném vào hầm cầu, ngươi giỏi quá nhỉ. Nếu để cho kẻ khác biết ngươi vác một con hấp linh thánh ngư ném vào hầm cầu, đoán chừng toàn bộ võ giả nghe được cũng sẽ tìm ngươi dốc sức liều mạng rồi. Đàm Đàm than thở, nói, đệ cũng đâu sung sướng gì, tự nhiên mất mẹ nó bộ đồ vía. Huynh nhìn tay đệ đi. Nói xong hắn vươn tay dí vào mũi chính mình hít hít mấy cái, lập tức trên mặt lộ ra một loại biểu cảm muốn nôn mửa. Đệ còn phải dùng đôi tay này ăn cơm nữa chứ. Giờ sao đây, đáng đời ngươi. Sở Dương châm chọc, nhịn không được cười tâu ghét. Sau đó hắn quay vào phòng, nhìn vào trong hồ cá. Hấp linh thánh ngư đáng thương kia đang hốt hoảng bơi điên cuồng, thỉnh thoảng còn mạnh mẽ nhảy lên, kèm theo thượng thổ hạ tả phun ra một đống chất bẩn. Xem ra là bị dọa một trận không nhẹ, còn không mau thay nước. Sở Dương quát một tiếng, Đàm Đàm vội vàng làm theo. Liên tục thay 7-8 lần nước thì hấp linh thánh ngư mới yên tĩnh trở lại, sụi lơ nằm dưới đáy nước. Cái bụng phập phà phập phồng thoạt nhìn có vẻ rõ ràng còn đang uất ức ghê lắm. Xem ra lúc này nó còn cần nghỉ ngơi một thời gian nữa rồi. Sở Dương cũng thật không ngờ lúc mình rời đi lại là cười ra nước mắt mà ly khai đấy. Mãi cho đến khi hắn đã đi ra thật xa, mới nghe được âm thanh khàn khàn từ cuống họng của Đàm Đàm gào với theo, Sở Dương, bảo trọng, đệ sẽ tới tìm huynh, đệ sẽ đi giúp huynh. Trong thanh âm đó, những câu